Good afternoon, everybody. It is Steve Lookner with Right Side Broadcasting coming to you with some breaking news. Dolores O'Riordan, not O'Riordan, that's how you spell it. Dolores O'Riordan, the lead singer of the Cranberries, one of the biggest 1990s bands, has unfortunately passed away today at 46 years old. We're going to cover that now. The first thing I have to do is, right as I was going to come on the air, I realized there was a typo in our lower third, so let me correct that real quick and spell her name right. There you go. That's better. So Dolores O'Riordan, lead singer of the Cranberries, dead at 46, one of the biggest bands of the 90s, an Irish rock band, and they had hits like Linger, Zombie, Salvation, Dreams, Ode to My Family. So a lot of people, if you were around in that era, I'm pretty sure you remember them, and their music is still played a lot on the radio, and people from now, I'm sure they have a lot of new fans too. So, sad day for fans of 90s pop music and Irish pop music, and people who like the Cranberries. So we want to report on this for you. Thanks for joining us. If you have comments, feel free to send them in to me at Lookner on Twitter, Lookner. We're going to be taking your comments. Maybe some of you have Cranberries memories. Maybe you can say if you went to a concert, or there's some song you particularly liked, or some kind of thing you associate from that point in your life when you were listening to the Cranberries, or maybe you're listening to them recently. So give me a shout on Twitter, @Lookner, Lookner. Going to first give you the details. There aren't that many details on her death. It's not clear why she died. 46, so young. They had just recorded an album, the Cranberries, a new album in 2017. They just released a new album, so she was still working and recording. So let me get you some of the details on that. Thank you to our moderators, by the way, JC and Barbara Braille in the YouTube chat, and Common Sense and Glen O on the website. All right, so here, let me get you the details, first of all, what we know about the death of Dolores O'Riordan, lead singer of the Cranberries. So this is a Rolling Stone article, and it says Dolores O'Riordan, lead singer of the Irish alternative band The Cranberries, died Monday in London. She was 46. The band's publicist confirmed O'Riordan's death in a brief statement. Irish and international singer Dolores O'Riordan has died suddenly in London today. She was 46 years old. The lead singer with the Irish band The Cranberries was in London for a short recording session. So she was in London for a recording session, and she died in London. The statement continued, "No further details are available at this time. Family members are devastated to hear the breaking news and have requested privacy at this very difficult time." No cause of death was revealed. The Irish Times, I'm going to have to look at that article. The Irish Times note that the Cranberries were forced to cancel tour dates in 2017 due to O'Riordan's ill health. The band cited medical reasons associated with a back problem. O'Riordan had previously been diagnosed as bipolar. So let me see if I can find you some more actual information on how she died or where she died. I thought I heard she was in a hotel, but I'm not sure about that. This is the Irish Times article. She was in London for a recording session on a new album. They were called to a hotel in Park Lane at 9:05 a.m. A woman in her 40s was pronounced dead at the scene. At this early stage, the death is being treated as unexplained. So no idea why she died. Look, let me say, there's all kinds of possibilities open. Could have been totally natural causes. She could have had some illness from before, maybe an illness we didn't know about. There have been musicians that have committed suicide. There have been, like the lead singer of INXS. There have been musicians who had a drug overdose. I think, wasn't Amy Winehouse a drug overdose and not a suicide, I believe? Let me look up this, if I can remember correctly. There's a very good documentary about Amy Winehouse called Amy, by the way, if you're interested in that. Yeah, she died from alcohol intoxication. So as to why Dolores O'Riordan died of the Cranberries, could be anything, natural causes, something else. We just don't know right now. But 46 years old, died at a hotel in London. And it's a hotel in Park Lane at 9. They were called there about 9 this morning, London time. And they're saying the death is unexplained right now. She is survived by her ex-husband, Don Burton, and her 3 children, Taylor Baxter, Molly Lay, and Dakota Rain. So, again, Cranberries, lead singer of the Cranberries, Dolores O'Riordan, is dead at 46. I'm going to show you some celebrity reaction in a second to her death. But we want to first get some comments from you. If anybody's written in yet, we're happy to take your comments here. If you're a Cranberries fan, do you have a favorite song? Did you see them in concert? A particular memory associated with the Cranberries? Let me know. I saw an interesting fact about Dolores O'Riordan earlier today. It said she was listed as one of the 10 richest women in Ireland, which I found interesting. Now, Irredeemable Cube says, sadly, we know, even if they don't release it yet, the cause. Now, I have no idea what the cause is, Irredeemable Cube. The police haven't said it yet, but you say the industry uses these tortured souls, and when they are of no more use, they toss them aside. So, so sad. God bless her soul. Russian Bot writes in, it's in your head, zombie. Some of the lyrics from the song Zombie, one of the biggest hits of the Cranberries. So we're going to take your messages here. At Lookner on Twitter is where to reach me, at Lookner. Joseph Riley says, she seemed like a cultural giant. Could you give an example of an artist of her caliber in any other genre of my music? I'm not familiar with her. Well, she was... The best way to say it is they were one of the biggest bands of the 1990s. They were very big on MTV, like they hosted Saturday Night Live. Not they hosted. They were a musical guest on Saturday Night Live. So they were definitely one of the biggest bands of the 1990s. So like any decade, now you could take what are the big pop bands now? It's a little different now because there's more because of the internet. And of iTunes and stuff like that, and just there's a lot more different kinds of music in YouTube. It's not people's musical tastes. I think are a bit more diverse these days, and across age groups, across people within age groups. And back then you didn't have access to just everything on YouTube, all this music on iTunes, or all this music on Spotify. So there were fewer bands that the general public was familiar with. And I think, popular bands were even more generally popular back then because you had less choice and less access to different music. So I would argue that they were even bigger than a standard big pop band now. You had people of all ages who knew where they were. So they were quite big in the 1990s. Chris Douglas writes in, love the Cranberries. Thanks for the stream. So sad. Then you asked me about a Project Veritas video. I'm aware of it, Chris. We're not planning on doing a stream on it right now, but I will keep an eye on it, Chris. Thank you. Madwack says, so many singers dropping dead, WTF. Now, Madwack, in terms of people who died recently, so David Bowie died recently. Chester Bennington died last year, the lead singer of Linkin Park. I'm trying to think of others. Maybe I'm probably leaving some out. Feel free to let me know who I've left out here. Okay, let me, a True Brit writes in, says, so sad. I want to show you some celebrity reaction. Again, the story is the lead singer of the Cranberries, they had hits in the 90s. One of the biggest bands of the 90s. They're an Irish alternative rock band. Some people call rock band, some people say alternative. Hits like Linger, Zombie, Dreams, Salvation, Ode to My Family. Their first album, I think, was called Everybody Else Is Doing It, So Why Aren't We? If I'm getting that right. Am I getting that right? Let's see here. Everybody else is doing it, so why can't we? There's the Wikipedia page of the Cranberries. I also saw that you can see from the Wikipedia page, they have sold over 40 million records worldwide. One of the most successful rock acts of the 90s. They had 4 top 20 albums on the Billboard 200 chart and 8 top 20 singles. All right, let me get you some celebrity reaction to the death of Dolores O'Riordan. I'll show you the Twitter Moments page. So we have, let's see, some, again, let me just repeat what we know about her death. It happened this morning at a hotel in London. She was in London doing supposedly some small recording session. Police were called to the hotel. They found Dolores O'Riordan dead. There is no word yet on a cause of death. No word yet on a cause of death. You can see there, Gavon Riley posted, publicist for Dolores O'Riordan confirms the 46-year-old singer has died suddenly in London, where she was there for a short recording session. Okay, let me... Duran Duran, huge band, of course, from the 1990s. They said, "We are crushed to hear the news about the passing of Dolores O'Riordan. Our thoughts go out to her family at this terrible time." That is from the band Duran Duran. Musician Hozier, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I think it's Hozier. Maybe it's Hoser. No, I think it's Hozier. I don't know. Is he Irish, Hozier? Let me look this up. He's an Irish musician. Okay. My memory is correct. So Hozier, who's also from Ireland, the Cranberries are Irish, said, "My first time hearing Dolores O'Riordan's voice was unforgettable. It threw into question what a voice could sound like in that context of rock. I'd never heard somebody use their instrument in that way. Shocked and saddened to hear of her passing. Thoughts are with her family." That's from current popular musician Hozier. Chris Douglas made a donation. Thank you, Chris. Chris says, "Does she have a history of drug abuse?" Chris, in what I've read briefly today, I haven't seen anything about it. Now, I am not a Dolores O'Riordan expert, and of course, she could have things that were not public, but I am not aware of her having, huge drug problems. Now, I will say this. There was, in terms of, there's one incident that I've seen different sources talk about from a couple years ago. This isn't a drug incident, but... this is the one from in 2014. O'Riordan was arrested and charged in connection with an assault on an Aer Lingus flight from New York to Shannon. I assume Shannon is Ireland. An air hostess and a policeman were assaulted, and O'Riordan was held in custody following a visit to the hospital herself. She was also reported to have unspecified back problems, but nothing I have read today about drug issues. You just don't know, though, so I'll let you know if I hear anything more about the cause of death. We know nothing right now. If you hear anything, give me a shout on Twitter, @Lookner, @Lookner. We're looking at some celebrity reaction to Dolores O'Riordan. Now, this band I'm not even familiar with. It's called Codaline or Codaline. They are from Dublin, but they have a lot of followers. They say, "Absolutely shocked to hear about the passing of Dolores O'Riordan. The Cranberries gave us our first big support when we toured with them around France years ago. Thoughts are with her family and friends." There is a younger picture. Now, this is posted by someone named Muna, probably somebody else who I'm not familiar with. That looks like it maybe is a band. And they say, gone too soon. Rest in power to one of our largest musical inspirations, Dolores O'Riordan. Thank you. Let me look up Muna. Hang on a second. Is Muna a band, an Irish band as well? Muna. They are an American electronic pop band. Okay. I like to think I keep up with music, and then when something like this happens, I realize there's so many bands I've never even heard of. Let me show you some more celebrity reaction here, if I can find it for you. TV show, talk show host James Corden posted, "I once met Dolores O'Riordan when I was 15. She was kind and lovely. I got her autograph on my train ticket and it made my day. She had the most amazing voice and presence. So sorry to hear that she's passed away today." Roots drummer Questlove says, he's also the band leader, I think on the Tonight Show. Am I right about this? He said, "Damn, Dolores O'Riordan passed of the Cranberries, R.I.P." That is an Instagram post. if you have memories or thoughts about Dolores O'Riordan of the Cranberries passing away, give me a shout on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. And also, again, thanks to our moderators for moderating our chats today. Liz Phair, another huge act from the 90s. I'm a big Liz Phair fan. She said, devastated for fans and her family, Dolores O'Riordan had such an exquisite voice, so distinctive and defining of an era. She would have continued to be a rare musical treasure late into a long life. So we're seeing some, music acts. It's interesting. We're seeing music acts from the 90s post tributes to Dolores O'Riordan, but a lot of current musicians cite her as an influence. So Julia Michaels, who she's quite young. I mean, if you told me she was like 20 or something, I'd believe you. But she says, no, Dolores O'Riordan, rest in peace. I will forever know how to flip from full to falsetto because of you. I will be blasting your voice in my car all day today. How old is Julia Michaels? She is 24. Okay. So Dolores O'Riordan, a very influential singer. A lot of tributes we're seeing for her. Josh Groban says, no, I have always adored her songs and her voice. Okay. All right, let me see if there are any more comments from you guys here. Irredeemable Cube reminded me. Well, so Tom Petty died last year. Did Chris Cornell die last year? I thought it was longer ago. And he said Prince. Wasn't Prince longer ago? I don't know. Chris Cornell died in 2017. Amazing. Did Prince really die last year? No, Prince died in 2016. But you were saying these people, a lot of singers have died recently in the last couple of years. Irredeemable Q. Dingle says the unspecified back issue raises my eyebrow. She may have given opioid script. We know the recent results of that mess. Sure, it's possible. She had back problems. We just don't know right now. As I said before, look, unfortunately, we've had musicians commit suicide as well. Now, did Chris Cornell, I think, committed suicide? Did he not? From Soundgarden? Let's see. Let me look this up. Yeah, he committed suicide last year. NXX singer Michael Hutchence committed suicide a while back. So it's possible. It's possible with just natural causes. So we're going to wait and see what we hear about this. Jeremy Miller says some other singers who've died recently are Merle Haggard. George Michael was pretty recent. Fats Domino. Dingle says the Cranberries were one of the very first MP3s ever downloaded in the late 90s. He says probably. They were probably one of the first MP3s downloaded in the late 90s, started the digital audio era, because they were popular at that time, you're saying. Russian Bot writes in, do you have to let it linger? JC says, Steve, how much is the mainstream media going to make this the president's fault? I have not heard anyone blame President Trump for this, JC. JC is one of our moderators. I want to see if I can find any more information about the actual death and how it happened. I would think we'd hear something soon. Breitbart News has a big tweet about this. You can see it's from Breitbart News is reporting on it. All the major news outlets seem to be reporting on this right now. Anthony Scaramucci, formerly of was he briefly the communications director? Is it? I don't know. I don't think that's the verified. I don't think that's the verified Anthony Scaramucci. Sorry. That is not the verified account. So I don't know if he did post anything about her. Let me keep looking here. CNN's Brooke Baldwin, who I know some of you probably are not fans of. She says, been listening to the Cranberries in my office prepping for my show. Man, takes me back. Love them. R.I.P. Dolores O'Riordan. The 90s band The, a band I am a big... Well, I say the 90s band. For all I know, they're still recording, so I'm not just... They recorded in the 2000s, too, but they're great. They said, very sad to hear about Dolores O'Riordan's early death. She would sometimes travel on our tour bus when the Cranberries supported us on an American tour. Sweet girl. That's probably Matt Johnson who posted that, because he's kind of the... Is this the Wonder Woman Linda Carter? If it is, she says, very sad news, so young, so talented. Singer Michelle Branch says, so sad to hear of Dolores O'Riordan passing. I remember as a young girl hearing the Cranberries for the first time and wanting to be just like her. We've seen a number of posts from singers who said they were very influenced by Dolores O'Riordan when they were younger. You might be wondering, you might be saying, Steve, why aren't you playing Cranberry songs on the air? Well, we cannot play, we're not allowed to play copyrighted music on their air. They will shut down this stream. So unfortunately, we can't do that. So we apologize for that. I was trying to find more information on how she passed away. If you hear anything on this, give me a shout on Twitter, @Lookner, @Lookner. At the moment, I'm not seeing anything. Does the New York Times have anything about the cause of death? I'm guessing they don't yet, but let's look. So weird to see Dolores O'Riordan's name next to the word obituaries. Personally, I think that's very strange. So young, too, 46. No, they don't have much in here in this article. Details... You know, all we know is that she was at a hotel in London. She was in London to do a recording session. The police got called to the hotel this morning and they found her dead. No word on cause of death right now. Guy Ingham writes in, her voice not only reached hearts but went all the way to the soul. That was our viewer, Guy Ingham. See if I can find any more celebrity reaction here. I'm sure there is. The problem is, I think with these celebrity articles, they write them all like at the same time. So they put the same 4 tweets in all the celebrity articles. And a lot of them, they don't update. So you look at the celebrity reaction articles, and it's all Hosier and Duran Duran. It's like, well, I know they posted, but I want to see other people who posted about them too. CNN's Jake Tapper posted. He says the lead singer of the Irish band. Oh well, that's just him cutting and pasting. He didn't even put any of his personal feelings in there. He didn't even say I was a big fan or something. It's just like a cutting and pasting of a Wire report. The president of Ireland has said something. Rolling Stone reports. The president of Ireland praises Cranberry singer's immense influence on rock and pop music in Ireland and internationally following her death. Hey, let me tell you, I read an interesting story about how Dolores O'Riordan became a member of the Cranberries, which I want to show you from the Wikipedia page of the Cranberries. So if you go down here and we have formation in early years, it says the 2 brothers, Mike and Noel Hogan, formed the Cranberries. From the Cranberries Saw Us. But in Ireland, and less than a year later, a singer left the band. The remaining band members, after the original singer left, who was a male singer, I think, yeah, the remaining members placed an advertisement for a female singer. I think the original singer was female. That's a female first name, isn't it? Because, is it Niall? Neil Ferguson is a male. Anyways, enough of that for right now. The remaining band members, after the original singer left, placed an advertisement for a female singer. Dolores O'Riordan responded to the advertisement and auditioned by writing lyrics and melodies to some existing demos. When she returned with a rough version of Linger, she was hired. So Linger was a song that Dolores O'Riordan had been working on her own. And when the Cranberries needed well, they weren't even called the Cranberries yet, but when they needed a singer, she answered an advertisement and she brought in some demos, and one of them she brought in was Linger. And another interesting story is that their initial album that became very successful initially wasn't that successful. So the band's debut single, Dreams, was released in 1992, September, followed by their first full-length album, Everybody Else Is Doing It, So Why Can't We, in March 1993. Neither the album nor the single gained much attention, nor did a second single, Linger. So Dreams and Linger were out, but they weren't gaining much attention. When the band embarked on a tour supporting the British band Suede, they caught the attention of MTV, which put their videos into heavy rotation. Although Linger was first released in the UK in February 1993, peaking at 74, it was later reissued 1 year later in February 1994, peaking at 14. This was followed by Dreams, released again over a year later, peaking at number 27, which helped their debut album to top the UK album chart, becoming one of only 5 artists ever to achieve a re-entry at that chart position. So it's pretty crazy that their album came out and it wasn't doing that well in a year, but then it started doing well months and months later. And a big reason for that is MTV put their videos into rotation. And MTV, so powerful back then. If you're too young to remember that time, if you weren't around at the time, you don't realize MTV was such a big deal. It's like everybody watched it, and that's where you got so much of your new music. And if they put your video on, that was a huge deal. And they weren't even playing like that many videos. It's not like they played a different video throughout the day, all day. Like they were, it's like when you listen to like a top 40 station, they play kind of the same songs over and over again. It was kind of like that with MTV. So that was a big deal for them. Russian Bot says, sending up 99 Luft balloons in tribute. A reference to a different 90s song. Chris Douglas says, interesting that Shirley Manson from Garbage hasn't commented. Being such similar contemporaries, it would be insightful to get her perspective. Now, Shirley Manson, isn't she Irish? She's the lead singer of Garbage. She's Scottish. She's Scottish. She's not Irish. She's Scottish. They're from a similar area, a similar geographical location, but not the same. I haven't heard any comment from Shirley Manson. I can look her up on Twitter. I don't know if she has a Twitter account. I do not see I see a lot of Shirley Manson accounts that are not verified, so maybe she doesn't actually have one. So we still do not have a cause of death on singer Dolores O'Riordan's passing. She was at a hotel in London. She was in town to record some music, and the police found her dead this morning at this hotel, but no word yet on a cause of death. So still trying to figure that out. If you guys hear anything, or you want to just share some memories of the Cranberries or of Dolores O'Riordan, give me a shout on Twitter. I'd love to hear from you, at Lookner, at Lookner. And thanks again to our moderators, Barbara Braley and JC, and Common Sense and Gleno on the website. And also, real quick, if you like our coverage, we are viewer supported. So, I'm guessing they'll have a little coverage of this in the mainstream media today, but they probably won't do, this amount of coverage, and I guarantee CNN won't take your comments on the air. So if you like having an alternative to the mainstream media, please consider donating to Right Side Broadcasting, because we are viewer supported. We can't say on the air without your support. So if you want to donate, you can go to the bottom of the YouTube chat, click on the $ at the bottom of the YouTube chat, or go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. A stream like this, we will not ask for donations that much for obvious reasons, but we do need to ask anyway once in a while, just because that's what keeps us on the air. And we want to be on the air and bring you guys more news. I'm going to see if I can find some more celebrity reaction to this. Actually, in here, I hadn't shown it yet. This is the Cranberries. This is the Cranberries Twitter page. And here's what they posted today. It's kind of weird. So they just posted like a press release, like a news story. They just posted Irish and international singer Dolores O'Riordan has died today. So now maybe, I mean, I'm guessing they're all shell-shocked. So, you know, maybe we'll hear something personally from them soon, but they just posted that. Now, I'm sure the comments in the comments section of this are just all these tributes to them. So let's look at the comments on this post here. These are from Cranberries fans. No words, devastating. She was part of my DNA, the soundtrack of my life. So sorry to hear this news. Love, 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 Dolores. Definitely a sad day, like dying in the sun. So lots of people posting here. I'll show you a little, you can see from this tweet a little footage of the Cranberries. I can't play you the music, but I can show you some of the footage. So there's Dolores O'Riordan right there. Another fan says, so sad to hear this news. Saw the Cranberries in concert and they were amazing. Zombie is one of my favorite songs of all time. R.I.P. Dolores. I want to check out their Facebook page and see what's on their Facebook page right now. Yeah, their Facebook page doesn't have any personal posts yet either from them. It's just, they have not personally responded. It's just this news story that they posted, I think probably just to have something up there. Very popular Facebook page. 4 million people like it and 3.6 million follow it. And then more fan comments. If you want to see more comments, you can go to their Facebook page. They have there are 11,000 comments and counting in this post here on their Facebook page. Somebody named Sergio Costa says, I really can't believe it. Cranberries was the band I cared the most, in which I've become a real fan for the first time. I've seen Dolores really close in a show here in Fortaleza, Brazil. It was really a special moment. Godspeed, our beloved voice. Wish you were anywhere. Wish you love anywhere you are. Amal Belhausen, another fan, says, sorry for our loss. We grew up with her songs, words and rhythms. Zombie, Ode to My Family, Animal Instinct, may she rest in peace, always be remembered. What else can I find here? Oh, now, this is her Twitter page, and the last post was January 3rd. And I'm guessing at some point, maybe someone she knows will post some kind of final message on this page about her death. But at this point also, you can see, I'm guessing there are a ton of comments on this. This is her final post. So I'm guessing there are a ton of comments on this. Let's go look at the comments. Yeah, so people will all comment on this post too. Somebody says, Marjay says, I actually cannot believe it. Gutted, devastated, R.I.P. to one of the most talented singers to ever come from Ireland. Always your fan ever since I was a teenager and learned all of the Cranberry songs on guitar. You were an inspiration, gone too soon. Danny says, stunned as well, only 46. How devastating for her family, her 3 children, so awful. Marjay, one of her fans, says, absolutely gutted I am. It's really upsetting. I hope to God it was natural causes and not another drug or suicide statistic. Either way, it's the saddest news I've heard in a long time. It's interesting. So this story broke about an hour and a half ago or 2 hours ago, and we still have no word yet on the cause of death. So I'd like to find out. I wonder if we can read into that. I'm wondering, like, for example, if it was obviously suicide, would that have come out by now? Would that have been leaked by now? I don't know. So, but it's weird. It's like, what do you? Personally, I can't say there's a cause I hope that's better. I mean, either way, she's dead, which is very sad. So we'll just have to see what we hear about this. But I'm sort of doing a little searching here to see if I can find anything more for you. This is, I can't play you the music, but it's a clip of her. This might be the SNL clip, because it's 1994 and it's Zombie. Oops, geez, I got you a little music almost. Hold on a second. Let's try this again. YouTube gets very mad at the music. That, I think, is SNL. Unless I'm wrong. I'm wrong about that. I think it's not SNL. I think it looks like more. I just saw the set for a second. It's not. It looks like maybe Letterman or something. Letterman? Tonight Show? Some other show, but it's not it looks like maybe Letterman. So I'm sorry for that mistake. It's not SNL. SNL had a different set back then. Hey, what can you do? I'm looking up another article about music stars paying tribute. Oh, okay. So I have some more musician tributes to Dolores O'Riordan. This band, Waves, is their current band, I believe. Let me look that up. I believe they're just they're like from the last 5 or 6 years. They say the Cranberries were the only thing my whole family ever agreed on. R.I.P. Dolores. Now Waves might be like more like one person. Let me look this up. Waves is a rock band based in San Diego, formed in 2008. And that's what they posted. I don't know who this person Chiesa is. Who is Chiesa? Chiesa is a Canadian singer and multi-instrumentalist. And she posted, just heard the news Dolores O'Riordan inspired me early on to go out and brave my own songs in front of people. Zombie was one of the first covers I ever sang live. I always felt such raw emotion singing her songs. Sad to lose her, and I'm endlessly grateful for her influence. Stephen Street is a producer who produced the Cranberries, also produced the Smiths. He says, very well-known producer and accomplished, he said, I have just heard the news regarding Dolores O'Riordan. I need a little time to process what has happened. Suffice to say, I am very sad to lose someone who meant so much to me and to many people across the world. R.I.P. my songbird. That is from producer Stephen Street. If you have a reaction to Dolores O'Riordan's passing, if you're hearing or you hear new news about it, give me a shout on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. Happy to read any comments you have or memories you have about Dolores O'Riordan and the Cranberries. Joey Diaz says, I've never even heard about this band. Now, I don't know how old you are, Joey. I think if you were listening to pop music in the 90s, you couldn't have helped hear about the band. He says, our viewer Joey says he thinks it's death by suicide or overdose. I have no idea. Now, when somebody dies at 46, you might think, well, maybe it's not natural causes, but we have no idea right now why she died. As soon as I hear about it, if I hear about it on the broadcast, I'll let you know. Don't know if we'll hear about it by the end of the broadcast, but I'll keep looking for you. And Dingle says Dolores was part of a new group called DARK. Let me look this up. DARK. Dark Band. Well, it says here that in 2014 they began recording new material with Irish vocalist Dolores O'Riordan, but I don't know if they were still active at this time. Maybe they were. I think her Twitter page mentioned it, so maybe they were still recording. Yeah, on her Twitter page. Oh, there you go. DARK. So she was also recording with this band DARK. And they had a new album coming out on May 27th of this year, it looks like. They released she released an album with the Cranberries last year. I was going to read you more musician tributes to Dolores O'Riordan. Let me get that. Hey, what did I do? Hang on. Here it is. Is Diplo considered a producer, a DJ, or both? Well, Diplo says, this is horrible news to wake up to. Rest in peace, Dolores. Let me look up Diplo and see if he's considered, a DJ. Here's the tweet again. A DJ, a producer, or both. Diplo. He is an American DJ, record producer, songwriter, and record executive. Okay. The band Foster the People had a couple big hits about 5-6 years ago. They said, shocked and heartbroken over Dolores O'Riordan's death, the Cranberries were pinnacle in showing me that it was possible to fully embrace masculine and feminine energy in one cohesive sound. She was a true pioneer. I think the lead singer is Mark Foster, so maybe he's posting that in Foster the People's site. See if we can see anything, find anything new about the death of Dolores O'Riordan. Now, Mormon Voodoo, you sent me something, a tribute to Dolores O'Riordan. What I can't tell, is this from you or is this from somebody else? Because I don't want to read it and say it's from you if it's not from you. So feel free, Mormon Voodoo, to let me know that tribute you sent me. Where is it from? Oh, Mormon Voodoo sent me a post from their Twitter, I think. I think it's from them. Hold on a second. Let me just check this here. I'll read it, Mormon Voodoo, in a second. Yes, this is from Mormon Voodoo. So our viewer, Mormon Voodoo, sent me a couple of posts that he or she had made, and I will show you them if I can get my act together here. Okay, here are some of a couple of the posts that Mormon Voodoo made on his or her Twitter. It says, Mormon Voodoo, our viewer, says, you were and will forever be my favorite singer. I am crushed beyond words. R.I.P. and Fly to the Angels. And I can't read that. I'm guessing maybe it's in, what would it be, Gaelic? I'm not sure. And then there's another post here from Mormon Voodoo that says, our viewer, as many of you may or may not know, Dolores O'Riordan was and will continue to be my favorite female singer. Her voice was to me angelic. I was a fan of the Cranberries and her solo work. I have had her entire catalog on the iPod for many years. She was also a major crush of mine. I took a nap earlier and woke up to the news she died. If you are not familiar with them or you only know 4 songs by the Cranberries, I highly recommend getting Something Else, which has old and new material. Thanks for the recommendation, Mormon Voodoo. Unplugged with the Irish Chamber Orchestra. I know recently she had some health issues, physical and mental, so I hope that whatever happened, she found peace. And then there's that quote at the end. And in terms of the physical and mental issues, what I'd heard about is physically she'd been having back issues recently. Mentally, I read, I think on the Wikipedia page, I'm not sure, I read somewhere she had been diagnosed as being bipolar, but I'm not aware if either of these contributed to her death in any way. But as you can see, Mormon Voodoo, one I'm sure of probably millions of people out there who are huge fans of the Cranberries and just devastated by the news today. Bethany Maga, thank you for writing in, Bethany. Bethany Maga says, Dolores was vocal about her battles with anorexia over the years. Who knows, though? Just so sad. Okay, I hadn't heard of that, Bethany. Let me look this up. Okay, this is cool. Thank you for the heads up. Here's an article from the Belfast Telegraph. This is from 2014, and it says Dolores O'Riordan, the demons that linger in her life. Barry Egan tells the turbulent and tragic story of rock star Dolores O'Riordan. It involves 4 years of rape as a child, suicidal thoughts, depression, and her arrest for an alleged assault on the plane. Now, I don't know if any of this has to do with her death today, but this is a 2014 article. But let's look at some of what's in here. She told me this in October 2013. For 4 years when I was a little girl, I was sexually abused. The dirty secret caused Dolores O'Riordan to have a nervous breakdown and to be depressed and suicidal and anorexic. She had panic attacks. She didn't sleep or eat properly. How could she? So I guess she was molested, she says, from the ages of 8 to 12 in Ireland. Let me see. She said she blamed herself for that man sexually abusing her for 4 years, beginning when she was 8. And I got famous when I was 18 and my career took over. It was even harder then, so I developed the anorexia. She said, I knew why. I knew why I hated myself. I knew why I loathed myself. I knew why I wanted to make myself disappear. It was something that I noticed manifested in itself in my behavior and the pathologies I began to develop in my early adult life, such as my eating disorder, depression, and eventually the breakdowns. I think I am getting stronger for sure, but I'll always be a bit of a train wreck. Nobody's perfect. Those people who pretend they are perfect aren't perfect. So, again, I have no evidence that any of this played a role in her death, but it is an interesting article. Feel free to Google this. It's from 2014. It's from the Belfast Telegraph, and it just talks about some of the problems that she had in her earlier life. She says she was molested for 4 years starting when she was 8 years old. It caused her to have anorexia, to have suicidal thoughts, to be depressed. So who knows if any of this contributed to her death, but that's an article. If you want to read more about her past and some of the demons she said she had, you can look at this article. You can Google it and find it for yourself. Thank you, Bethany Maga, for writing in about her, talking about her anorexia. That helped find that article. I appreciate it. Let's see if there are any more comments from you guys. Feel free to write me if you have comments at Lookner, at Lookner, or any memories of the Cranberries. Robert Moose, our viewer, writes in, if you have time to kill, the context of the song Zombie is worthy of mentioning. Was a response to the Warrington attacks. After the single was released, the first IRA ceasefire was announced. One of the most powerful rock songs ever. So let me go to Robert Moose suggested I look at the Wikipedia page for Zombie. One of their biggest hits, the Cranberries. Oops, that wasn't where I wanted to go. I don't know if I ever checked the sound. Wikipedia page for Zombie. One of their biggest hits. Oh, the sound sounds okay. Okay, fine. All right, here we go. Here is Zombie Song by the Cranberries. Let's see. This, unfortunately, doesn't tell me that much about the origin of the song. Zombie Song Origin. Not original, origin. Here it is. Zombies by the Cranberries. Song facts. This song was inspired by the IRA bombing in Warrington, Cheshire, England on March 20th, 1993. It was written not that long after that, 1994. 2 children were killed. Lead singer Dolores O'Riordan claimed that Zombie speaks about the Irish fight for independence that seems to last forever. The lyrics even say it's the same old theme since 1916. The song generated a great deal of controversy. In August 1994, just a few weeks after this song was released, the IRA declared a ceasefire after 25 years of conflict, leading some critics of the Cranberries to wonder if the IRA was willing to call a truce to make sure the group didn't release any more songs about them, which I'm guessing wasn't the actual reason. Thank you to our viewer for suggesting we look at that. I'm going to do one more quick check to just see if there's any more information about how she passed away. Edward Briley, one of our viewers, says he thinks she died because of either drugs overdose, rock and roll, committed suicide, killed because of contract or overworked, or sex STD of some kind. Now, I have no evidence that any of these played a factor in her death. This is one of our viewers. But one of our viewers says, Edward Briley says, he thinks either way, sex, drugs, and rock and roll killed her. Who knows at this point, Edward? We'll wait and see if we hear anything more today about this. By the way, if we might not hear anything in the coming minutes, but I will post on my Twitter later today if I hear anything later today about this. So if you want, you can always follow me on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. I post about breaking news all the time, so feel free to follow me there. Also, thanks again to our moderators who've been moderating during this broadcast, JC and Barbara Braley in the YouTube chat, and Common Sense and Gleno in the website. Thank you. And be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and click the notifications bell so you get notified whenever we come on the air with these live videos. We do live breaking news videos all the time, so subscribe to us on YouTube to get those videos. And you can follow us on Facebook too. Hello to everybody watching us on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook at Right Side Broadcasting and on Twitter at RSB Network. So we'll be on the air a few more minutes here, and I'll see if I can get any more updates on this sad death of a very young singer, Dolores O'Riordan, 46 years old. A viewer wrote in before and said, hey, it's interesting Shirley Manson hasn't posted yet, but Shirley Manson's band Garbage just posted this just 13 minutes ago. The band Garbage says, so saddened to hear about the sudden death of Dolores O'Riordan. Our sincerest condolences to the Cranberries and all of her loved ones. Shirley Manson, the singer of Garbage, was Scottish. The Cranberries are from Ireland. But that is from the band Garbage. looking at some different sources here, trying to get maybe some updated information. Maybe the Daily Mail has something. They're sometimes good with updated information. Just seeing, this is the Sun from England. She died suddenly in a Park Lane hotel at age 46, while in the Capitol recording. And there's a quote I spotted in here. It says, a Met Police spokesperson said police in Westminster are dealing with a sudden death. Now, I don't know what sudden death means. Does that mean perhaps that she wasn't sick? You know, it wasn't like she had like some terminal illness or something like that. I don't know, but that's a quote I hadn't seen before. A Met Police spokesperson said police in Westminster are dealing with a sudden death. Officers were called at 9:05 a.m. Monday to a hotel in Park Lane in London. A woman in her mid-40s was pronounced dead at the scene. At this early stage, the death has been being treated as unexplained. Inquiries continue. Let me see what the Daily Mail has on this. Okay, so this is the Daily Mail article. They just updated it 5 minutes ago. She's said to have died suddenly in a London hotel. Her publicist did not comment on how she died other than to say it was sudden and that her family are devastated. That's her last tweet, which we showed you earlier. Some pictures. It's interesting, she was so young when they, the Cranberries really broke out in 1994. So she would have been, 22 around then when they really broke out. So young when they became, big stars. One of her children and her. Again, the same couple of quotes from the cops. Police in Westminster are dealing with a sudden death. They were called at 9:05 a.m. to this hotel. They found this woman dead. The parish priest from her hometown has confirmed the funeral will take place in Ireland, where she will be buried. Her family are still waiting for more details to come from London about her death, says the parish priest from her hometown. So he seems to be saying that the family doesn't even know how she died. Now, maybe they know at this point. Oh, is it the London Hilton? Yes, it was at the London Hilton. A spokeswoman for the London Hilton on Park Lane said it was with deep regret that we can confirm a guest sadly passed away at the hotel. Okay, so some new details we've kind of gleaned. This was a sudden death, whatever that means. She was 46. It was at the London Hilton. As of the writing of this article from the Daily Mail was updated 5 minutes ago, and as of the latest they had heard that it was that the family didn't even know why she died yet. Another quote here says from one of her spokespeople says, team member. Oh no, this is from the London Hilton person. Team members acted swiftly to alert the Metropolitan Police. Now this is interesting. See, this says team members of the hotel alerted the police. So people who worked at the hotel alerted the police. So that tells me, if that's accurate, that she was found dead by someone who worked at the hotel, not one of her team. It's not like one of her team came over to visit. Now, what could have happened is someone from her team was like, maybe she was supposed to do a recording session while she was in London. Maybe she didn't show up somewhere she was supposed to be, and somebody she knew called the hotel and said, hey, she's not here. Can you do a welfare check on her? Or can you knock on her door? Or maybe somebody she knew knocked on her door and they couldn't get in, and the hotel ended up letting themselves in and finding her. But it does say it does seem to say here that people working at the hotel were the ones who informed the police, not someone, she personally knew. Last year, she revealed that she had been, Dolores O'Riordan had revealed she had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder in 2015, having battled with depression during much of her career. I'm sure they're looking into whether she was on certain medication at the time. She told Metro about her being bipolar. There are two ends of the spectrum. You can get extremely depressed and dark and lose interest in the things you love to do, and then you can get super manic. She said, I was at the hypomanic side of the spectrum and off for a long period, but generally you can only last at that end for around 3 months before you hit rock bottom and go down into depression. When you're manic, you don't sleep and get very paranoid, so I'm dealing with it with medication. So she was on medication, according to her own words, in the last couple of years to deal with bipolar disorder. No idea if this contributed to the death, but that is something we're seeing here. In a statement, now in 2017, as we said before, the Cranberries released an album and they were on a tour, but the tour was canceled in July due to health reasons concerning O'Riordan. In a statement, the band explained that she was suffering from ongoing back problems, and doctors had advised her to pull out of the upcoming gigs. Now, it's possible, certainly, that it wasn't back problems and it was something else, but they wanted to be private about it. On December 20th, she tweeted from the band's official account, writing, "Hi all, Dolores here, feeling good." There is a shot on her wedding day with her then-husband, Don Burton. They eventually separated, but that's her on her wedding day. On the right, 1994. And here's a little more information about that incident on a plane from 2014. In February 2016, O'Riordan said she would use music, dancing, and performing to improve her mental health after avoiding a criminal conviction for assault at an airport. She was ordered to pay €6,000 to charity for headbutting, kicking, hitting, and spitting on police officers following an alleged air rage incident. The singer had previously admitted 3 assaults and obstructing a police officer after being taken off an Aer Lingus flight from New York's JFK to Ireland on November 10th, 2014. Now, this is interesting. I hadn't read this. So, she in 2014, she had this air rage incident where she was arrested and charged with crimes after. And it says here, why is it saying this? Medical reports produced for the trial for that incident revealed she had been suffering from mania, mental illness, and severely impaired judgment at the time of the incident, and that she remembered nothing about it. That's from 2014. So with that incident from 2014 and her own admitting that she has been taking medication for bipolar disorder, there were some mental issues in her past and in her present apparently as well. She was on some medication, supposedly, well, at least she had been on medication very recently, but no idea if this had anything to do with the cause of her death. We just don't know right now. If you've heard anything, give me a shout on Twitter, at Lookner, at Lookner. But that's the latest of what we know. So I'd like to have more for you, but at this moment, I don't have more for you about how she died. We just know she was found at a hotel. The hotel told the police, and the police came over and found her, and they determined she was indeed dead at the age of 46. But if you have if you're hearing anything new on this, or if you have any memories about the Cranberries or Dolores O'Riordan you'd like to share, give me a shout on Twitter, at Lookner, at Lookner. We're going to be a little while longer with this stream, and seeing if we can find out any more details about how she died. And also see if there's any more reaction from different musicians and other people like that. The sports writer and sports talk personality Bill Simmons just posted 1991-94 was an incredible run of music for rock, pop, rap, hip-hop. Those first two Cranberries albums stood out a little. Those first two Cranberries albums stood out a little says something about their impact at the time. Dolores had one of the most distinctive voices I can remember. Linger will always be a fave for me. I'm bummed. That's from Bill Simmons. I don't know, who is Ingrid Michaelson? Maybe I should know this. Is she a singer? She is an American singer and songwriter. She posted, I listened to the Cranberries up in my bedroom, full blast, angry at my parents and the world, scream singing into my pillow. I'm so saddened to hear about Dolores O'Riordan's passing. See if I can get you any more celebrity reaction here. We've seen a bunch already, but trying to find some we haven't seen. Nope, nothing I haven't seen yet. So I'm just looking at some different sources, trying to find some new information here. And as I said before, I will, if more information about this comes out after the stream ends, I will definitely be posting about it on my Twitter, so you can follow me there at Lookner, at Lookner. All right. Well, it seems at this point like not a lot of new information is coming out about this, so I'll check a couple more articles here, but maybe we won't hear more until later today. If you want a nice little summary of the Cranberries, of their big hits, the Guardian has a page up, and they have video clips. So they have Dreams, and they have little write-ups about the song. So Dreams, they have the video for that. Linger, the video for that. You can get it all in one place. Zombie, Salvation, Animal Instinct. So that's, if you look up The Guardian, you can find it on their site. DJ Myreed writes in, I'm totally devastated at Dolores' passing today. I really looked up to her, so sad. Thank you to DJ Myreed for writing in and sharing your thoughts. Yeah, we've seen a lot of people very unhappy about this. And so young, too. 46, was going to be making a lot more music, so very sad. I remember, I was a big Jeff Buckley fan. That ages me a bit, but and Jeff Buckley passed away when he was very young, I believe in his 20s. But I remember, if you're a fan of somebody and they die, and especially when they're young, you're very upset because you're like, I was waiting for the next album and now I'm never going to hear it. So, oops, let me just silence my phone. So a lot of people probably, you're upset at the person dying just because they died, but you're also upset because you feel like there's so much more music you would have had and you're not going to have it anymore. I'm just looking to see if we can find anything more about how she died, but I'm not seeing anything yet. I'm seeing a lot of just cause of death was not immediately available. Now, the other question is, do they know the cause and are not releasing it yet, or do they not know the cause? Does like her publicist know the cause? I don't know. Here is the Cranberries page on Instagram. I'm getting this is the last post, so I'm guessing there'll be a lot of comments on this one. Yeah, so this was the most recent post. Oh, from an hour ago? Is that when they posted this one? It says an hour ago at the bottom there. Hang on. You can't see it, but it says an hour ago. But you can see that there are over 10,000 likes on it. And here are some of the comments. I mean, you can just see. Oh, yeah. Look at they posted. They said they haven't posted personally, the Cranberries. They're just posting like this news story on their various social media sites. So this news story about her dying. But you can see the comments where people say, miss you, R.I.P., wonderful voice, wonderful song, so sad. We will never forget about you. The news shocked me, so sad, so sad. A lot of sad emojis and angry emojis. So sad and shocking. R.I.P. I'm speechless. So that's from their Instagram page. Well, I think at this point, that's about the latest we can tell you about her death. If I hear anything more later today, which I'm sure we will at some point, today or tomorrow, whenever, I will post it for you on my Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner, so you can follow me there. Want to thank all you guys for watching and just say, if you've liked that we've done coverage of this, again, I think if you turned on the mainstream media today, you probably wouldn't have seen much coverage of this at all. You know what's weird is even when this kind of thing happens, even like MTV and VH1, I'm always shocked. Like, to me, VH1 all day should just be live coverage of Dolores O'Riordan, because that's who in MTV too, just do it. But especially like VH1, because that's like their target audience. Or E! Network should do a big live thing on it, but they hardly ever do that. I just never do it. And so we think it's important to have live coverage when something like this happens. But if you like that coverage, just know we are viewer supported. So if you've enjoyed the coverage today and you want to see more of it, please consider making a donation, because that's the only way we can stay on the air. We hate even asking for donations, but that's what keeps us on the air. You can donate by going to the bottom of the YouTube chat. There's a little dollar sign at the bottom of the YouTube chat. You can click on the dollar sign there, or go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. I want to say a big thanks to everybody who wrote in and shared their thoughts on Dolores O'Riordan, their memories of the Cranberries. Thank you to our moderators so much, JC and Barbara Braley in the YouTube chat for being there the whole chat, and Common Sense and Gleno on the website. Subscribe to us at Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube. Hit the notifications bell. That way you'll get notified whenever we come on the air with these live breaking news videos. We might do another one later today. If there's breaking news, we will be on the air covering it. We were on last night covering the collapse in Indonesia, at the collapsed balcony at the stock market in Indonesia. We come on at all hours, so subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook at Right Side Broadcasting. Thanks to everybody on Facebook for watching. And if you've liked this video, also please, we love when you share our videos on Facebook and like them on YouTube. We're very small. We can't even afford to advertise. So when you share our videos and you like our videos on YouTube and share them on Facebook, that helps get the word out that we're doing this coverage. So we appreciate you doing that. And also you can follow Right Side Broadcasting on Twitter at RSB Network, at RSB Network. Thank you, everybody in the chat room, for saying thank you. Kathleen Loverso, thanks. Irene Soto, thank you. Light Switch, Mario is there. Monica Tabarez in the chat room. Monica Tabarez in the chat room says, I can't stop crying. I just found out this is too sad. John Titter in the chat room says, God bless Dolores. Charlie Horse says, saddened to hear this news. Sin City Jim says, I was a fan of Tim Buckley. Now that's old. Tia Marie, thank you. I Dan the Man, thanks. Luciferin, thank you. Jasmine Guthrie, Tree Beardicus. Let's see here. Skeeter and McBeater just says, that sucks. Moon Baby 625 says, oh my God, totally in shock. Arira, nobody knows the cause of death yet. Nobody knows the cause of death yet. Imam RC says, I am crying non-stopped. Arira says, I am destroyed for this news. Tree Beardicus says, did her father commit suicide? Is that what you're saying? I don't know about this. No, her father died after a battle with cancer. Her father did not commit suicide. He died after a long battle with cancer. Oops, oh, now we're going to get crazy music playing on this. Sorry. Hang on a second. Stop. Just saying goodbye to people in the chat room and reading some final comments here. Mick Lovin says, this is so damn sudden. Brian Hewitt says, very sad. Peaceful Patriot says, my favorite group, sad and shocked. Keith Sinclair says, sad news. Seba T just says, sad face. Maria Sandra Amador says, how sad, I just heard. Thomas Botch, one of our viewers, says, Zombie connected the world with war like only a handful of songs have. Michael Gayaprasad says, R.I.P. Ivan Para says, from Chile, all the way from Chile, we cry for you, Dolores. Yes, Maria, they still do not know how she died. Well, let me say this. It has not been released how she died. For all we know at this point, the police... I would be surprised if the police didn't have some good idea of how she died at this point, since it happened several hours ago. You know, it happened... They found her at 9 a.m. London time. In London time right now is 8:02 p.m. So she died 11 hours ago. It wasn't reported till a couple hours ago. She died 11. She was found 11 hours ago, 9:05 a.m. London time. So at this point, I would think somebody knows how she died. Skloe writes in, her voice was so unique and beautiful. Thankfully, it's preserved forever. Tiffany Gonzalez is very sad about this. She says, it is sad. I think my bad Spanish translation, it's sad in the truth about the death is incredible. Just a Mikey says, damn, this is super depressing. Zombie was the first song I learned on guitar. R.I.P. Dolores. Yuki Hakariko says, I'll miss her voice so damn much. A lot of people in the chat room have comments about Dolores O'Riordan. Cynthia Ale, HF, says, all my condolences to her family from Monterey, Mexico. Arthur, it is not known how she passed away. We do not know at this point. And I have seen nothing new about this. And John, yes, we have no idea how she passed away. Stormy World says, so sad and shocked. You know, what I should do while I have a second, actually, this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to look at some of our, usually I don't really get a chance to do this. Let me look at on Facebook. I know we have people watching on Facebook, and I'm sure they have commented too, so let me read some of their comments too. Gerardo Padilla says, so young, love you from El Paso, Texas. He's saying that about Dolores O'Riordan. Mayu says, this is so damn sad. Dickie Unplugged says, such a sad death for an amazing singer. I've listened to them for a while and I will miss her voice. In the Facebook chat, let's see. Donna Landucci Stevens says in the Facebook chat, saw the group in 1993, Fresno, California. Pretty good group, too bad. See if I can get more comments here from the Facebook broadcast. Cindy Armstrong said, that's so sad, I would listen to her to take away my pain. Roberta Ramirez says, I love this group and I'm 62. Mia Measy says, this breaks my heart. I was listening to them recently like crazy again. I was actually, for some reason, thinking about the Cranberries recently and saying, I wonder, what is she doing now? Is she like recording or what's going on? Turns out she had just released an album last year with the Cranberries. They were going to release an album with this other band she's in, Dark, D-A-R-K, coming in May. So she was still recording. Sachi Otzer says, what a loss, I will cherish the songs. Somebody from Greece, Ava, I can't even read the name because it's in Greek, says, "Men, I am from Greece, and I have to say in the 90s, I sang it so many times. The impact of that song hit me to the bone." Oh, he's talking about Zombie. He said he sang it in his piano lessons. Ryan Arona says, even my wife in Australia loved this band. Frank Harshaw says, R.I.P. Very sad to hear this. Loved her music in You've Got Mail. I also read, I forgot this, she did a cameo in an Adam Sandler movie, which was, where is it here? Click, the movie Click. She did a cameo as a wedding singer in the movie Click in 2006. Some more comments from now. All these viewers are sending in comments. Norman Grant says R.I.P. from Mexico. Kylo Ren says, I was just thinking about her yesterday and wanting to see them in live. Zombie is one of my favorite songs of all time. Shivang Haryal says, R.I.P. from India. Person dies, but soul lives forever. So people from around the world expressing their sadness about this happening. Wolf Ticket says, just heard the news. Wagner Mendez says, R.I.P. from Jamaica. JPKR Nubian Queen says, she helped me and my best friend see past color and be friends. Rest in power with Michael, Freddie, Prince, David. I am so sad. We need to wake up, smell the coffee. My first song I learned on the guitar was Zombie. A viewer with looks like Ro or Ao Carleon said, very sorry, Dolores has been with us since the 90s. Our condolences. Russia will be bored. So it looks like somebody is writing from Russia. Nadiva Leonetta says RIP from Indonesia. We have so you can just see, this is a very unscientific sampling of their fans, people who are watching the broadcast and sending their messages. But we've heard from people in so many countries: Jamaica, Indonesia, Russia, Greece. So all across the world, people fans of the Cranberries. Yvonne Para says her songs became a part of our lives. Linger, Linger was my first kiss. Cindy Thamer said she did a cameo on an episode of Charmed also. That is where I learned of them as a group and had been a fan since. Antonio Herman says RIP from Germany. Charlie Stewart says from New Zealand, RIP, people around the world. Pablo Pampion says from Uruguay. Andrea Franca says sad, RIP from Brazil. Tuchami says RIP from Croatia. Anyone knows what happened? No, we do not know how she died. She was found at her hotel room this morning. I don't even know it's a hotel room. She was found at the hotel this morning. Alicia Leslie says RIP from Pittsburgh. She had a beautiful voice. I remember listening to her in the 90s. Her songs were inspirational. JC, one of our moderators, says, I can't get that zombie song out of my head. R.I.P. May God bless you. She's saying her. That's what she means. He's saying. Joanne Williams says, oh my God, I am so shocked. R.I.P. Dolores XXX. Jesse Gobber says, R.I.P. from Arizona. Scorillo says, R.I.P. from Romania. My soul is crying. On Facebook, one of our viewers, I think it's, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Siobain. Is it like Siobhan or something like that? Mulcahy said, my heart is broken. The Irish girls have a voice many others can only dream of having. It might be a he, too. My heart is broken. The Irish girls have a voice many others can only dream of having. Long Island, New York born. Mike Tully says, R.I.P. New Jersey mourns. A viewer from Saskatchewan says, R.I.P. my deepest condolences to her friends and family from Regina, Saskatchewan. Alex Oren says, R.I.P. from Newmarket, Canada. Seeing if there's just any update that might have come out recently in the last few minutes about how she died. I have not heard anything. All I heard is that the police have said they're not. The police haven't said yet how she died. But nothing has been released yet. Marie Martinez, one of our viewers, says, I've always wanted to meet her for her inspirational music. She had a great voice that would always make me feel better. I am broken. Kaida Dragon says, her voice and music helped me through a lot of rough times in my life. God bless her on her new journey. Romy Zhang says, my worst birthday ever. You will be missed, Dolores. R.I.P. from Chile, another country we've heard from. In Brazil, we heard from too. A lot of different countries. It's amazing. People were fans of her around the world. Captain Muff Cabbage says, R.I.P. from South Africa. Is there anything else I can find about her being reported? Let's see. The Daily Mail updated their article. I don't know if there's much new in here, though. She was found dead in the hotel. We heard that before. She'd recently been performing with her band DARK, and she was staying in London while recording. She was found in a room of the Hilton London, the London Hilton, at 9:05 a.m. The death is being treated as unexplained. So the police have said her death was sudden, but there's no more information as of now that we have about how she died. So. Sergio Peralta says, very sad. Julia Miller says, my favorite modern female singer. She was the soundtrack of my high school years and 20s. Memory eternal, Dolores. Eric Hollowell says, from Mexico, rest in peace, Dolores. Tuchami, yes, they found her at the London Hilton where she was staying. All right, so to sum up what we know right now, unfortunately, Cranberries singer Dolores O'Riordan died today at the age of 46. She was found this morning, London time, at the London Hilton. No word yet on a cause of death. If I hear about it later, I will put it out there on my Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. I post breaking news all the time. Also, as I said before, you can follow Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube to get updates about these. When we do these live news videos, we do these kind of videos around the clock. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Click the notifications bell. You can follow us on Facebook as well, Right Side Broadcasting, and on Twitter at RSB Network. We're going to wrap up this stream right now. We've been on for a bit, and our condolences go out, of course, to Dolores O'Riordan's family. Very sadly, she had 3 children. She has an ex-husband, and the members of the band, and all of the family and friends who were close to her, and her fans worldwide. Our condolences go out. It's very sad that we will hear no more music from Dolores O'Riordan of the Cranberries, who passed away today at age 46. Thank you for our moderators who've been moderating the chat throughout the broadcast. JC, Barbara Braley on YouTube chat, and Common Sense and Gleno on the website. And thank you so much to you guys for writing in and sharing all of your thoughts, sharing your news items, your memories, and your condolences on Dolores O'Riordan. Thanks for being with us for this broadcast. And again, our condolences to all of her family, her friends, and her fans out there. But for now, we're going to wrap this up for now. If there's more breaking news today, later, we will come on the air and cover it. But for now, I am Steve Lookner. From all of us that are here at Right Side Broadcasting, thanks for joining us for this broadcast, for this sad news. And we will see you later on with more news here at Right Side Broadcasting. Have a good day.